This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. Okay. Karthik, did you
Yeah, Sunil.
practice
Yes, Sunil.
master slave configuration?
No, I didn't practice master scale. But I started for creating that managing user and all.
Okay. Security
Okay.
by
Yeah,
creating roles.
security. Correct. Creating roles,
Managing that.
assigning.
Okay. Fine.
Today I will practice that slave configuration and all. How it's been
Master
created,
slave
master slave.
configuration. Vikas, any questions?
No, Sunil. Thanks.
Thank you. Dinesh,
Sunil, I have a few
what is the
questions. I will
update?
ask. Sorry?
What is the update?
Nothing, Sunil. Nothing much. I
You
have a
have
few
few
questions.
questions?
Yeah, I will ask in the end of the session.
Okay. Fine. Dinesh, did you practice master slave configuration?
No, Sunil, I didn't practice that yesterday class. I will practice today. I have some work. So,
Okay. Today we'll be starting pipeline job. We'll be discussing what is a pipeline job. Okay. 1 minute.
This
Slave system.
conference will now be recorded.
Mhm.
It's like a similar to a monitoring tool or also a deployment tool where you can push the resources across on the client systems.
Okay. The practice solve stuff.
Also, the problem is, in fact, from last 1 week, I'm not able to do anything. I'm in talks with AWS to actually get my accounts related issues sorted out. I don't have a AWS account anymore. It has expired, and
Create
whatever.
a new account.
Sir, I have actually created twice. I created a new account with my all my debit cards, and they are just charging it and resending those money back to me, and they are not accepting it at all.
Okay.
So I've tried Kotak Bank, DBS Bank, multiple other banks as
No.
well. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and
You're
it's not
signing up
going at
for
all.
free account. You're signing up for free account, right?
So, yeah.
So new account gets successfully created. Then what's the problem? You're getting
Account
billed for
gets
the new.
created.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, account gets created. Then the payment goes through, and I get an error on the payment page.
So why do you
There is
pay
some.
when you create a new account? It's a free account, right?
Sir,
Limitations.
₹1 gets deducted, right?
Yeah, that rupee gets deducted. Yes, that's okay.
But even after giving that ₹1 as well, I mean, I don't get the account.
Okay.
I'm trying to get in touch with them, and last two instances, in fact, what has happened is, in fact, they said that they'll check with their side, and they also asked me to check with the bank. A bank has raised a request to their merchant as well, so I'm waiting for all those issues to be sorted out.
So right now you
And
don't have an AWS account?
no, sir, I'm not using anything. I'm actually for Linux. I'm practicing on the Linux websites. I mean, there are websites wherein the Linux are hosted.
What
I
about
practice
Jenkins?
on that. Jenkins, I haven't touched it also.
Oh, so a lot of pendings for you because of this AWS
Yeah,
account. Okay.
but I'm reading this book again and again.
Which book?
I actually, I actually make notes when you teach. So
Mm-hmm.
I read those as well as the documents that you share.
Okay.
This conference will now
Thank
Share
be
it
you.
with the sir
recorded.
as well. So he'll share it with you
Okay.
guys.
Okay. Jenkins is a CI/CD tool which helps you to perform the CI/CD stages: continuous download, continuous build, deployment, continuous testing, and continuous delivery. We also have completed all the CI/CD stages. But how did you do the CI/CD stages? Using the freestyle job. Am I right? Do you remember? So when you're creating a Jenkins,
So in real time, who will create the servers? Like a DevOps engineer should create the servers, or else AWS or Linux team will create.
we will create the servers.
Okay. What
We will
about
set up
if it is not? Yeah.
Jenkins.
Okay. What about if the client is using on-prem? Then how we can create servers?
Jenkins can install on any machine. The only prerequisite is Java. We know that, isn't it?
Yes, yes. I'm like we need to create the server. I mean, I'm asking whether server creation will be done by DevOps team or else.
Provisioning of servers is provided by the operations team. Okay.
Okay, okay, fine. So even for the this dev server and all, they will give right for us.
Specific to AWS environment, we will be creating it. Either we will create, if the company is maintaining separate AWS stream, they will do it. Otherwise, we'll do it.
When it is on-prem, operations team will give.
Operations team will. If it is on-prem,
Okay,
definitely operations team.
okay.
Ananya, how is your practice going on? So are you practicing or just listening and understanding the concepts?
Yeah, I'm practicing, so it's going good for now.
Okay. Good, good. Everybody are practicing. We have done CI/CD stages by creating a job. And what type of jobs we are creating? We are creating a freestyle job, isn't it? Freestyle project. That's how you're creating a CI/CD stages. Okay. Performing a CI/CD stages using code is called as a pipeline job. It's not a freestyle project. It's a pipeline project, and we perform the CI/CD stages using the code. We will be writing a code. We'll write a code to perform continuous download. We'll write the code to perform continuous build. We write a code to perform continuous deployment. We write the code for testing, and we write the code for delivery. So once you run the code, obviously the CI/CD stage will be completed. So performing CI/CD stages using the code is called as a pipeline job. Which is better? Is it a freestyle job better or a pipeline job is better? Definitely pipeline job is better. Why? Because there's some advantages when you perform the CI/CD stages using the code. You get some advantages when you perform CI/CD stages using the code when compared to the freestyle projects. The advantage is, first advantage, we can perform these kind of actions. If the testing is passed, it should go to stage 5 continuous delivery. If the testing fails, we want a mail to be received saying that the testing has been failed. Like if then else condition can be performed using the code. Next advantage, we can perform version controlling on this code. As per client requirement, you have performed the CI/CD stages using the code. We save that code into GitHub also. Client has changed some requirements. Again, we have changed the code and you will upload it to GitHub. Version controlling can also be done. Whenever the client says that, okay, no, the previous process is correct, let's perform the previous stage, you can do it. You can perform version controlling because you are code. So these are the advantages pipeline job has when compared to freestyle job. So in the interview, definitely they'll ask you CI/CD stages. Have you done a pipeline job? How did you implement this? You should say both. We have implemented using freestyle as well as pipeline. Freestyle, we already have seen it. Now we are learning today how to perform CI/CD stages using the pipeline job. That is nothing but using the code. How to write the code? You may have a doubt. I don't know Java. I don't know .NET. I am not from a programmer. You don't need to know anything. You don't need to learn C language. You don't need to learn Java, .NET, whatever it is. Not required. Code is very simple code. I'll show you how to generate the code. Jenkins has given an option to generate the code. 90% of the code Jenkins will generate. Okay, so it's writing the code is very much simple. Okay, writing the code is very simple. So each and every step I'll explain clearly. Each and every step I explain clearly using the code, so that you feel very comfortable understanding the pipeline job. Understanding the pipeline job. Okay, so have a look at this. Implementing CI/CD stages from the level of code is called as pipeline job. This code is also called as Groovy script. The code which is performing CI/CD stages is called as Groovy script. And the file, if you save that code in the form of a file, that file is called as Jenkins file. The code which you are creating, if you're saving it in a form of file, some apc.txt, whatever it is, it's called as Jenkins file. That is also called as Groovy script. The code which we are using for performing, or we are generating, or we are writing for performing CI/CD stages is also called as a Groovy script. What is the advantage? What is the advantage of performing CI/CD stages using the code? As pipeline is implemented using code, it gives the developers the ability to upload into version controlling system. From there, they can edit and review the script. If your manager wants to review the code, Happily, he will review the code. If the manager wants to review a freestyle project, he should log into the dashboard. He should select the job. He should go to each and every tab and he should review it, isn't it? Whereas code in one single script, in one single glance, he'll understand what exactly is happening. Reviewing the script becomes easy. Pipeline, one more advantage. Pipeline can accept interactive human input. Can accept interactive human input before continuing with a specific stage. What does that mean? This is one of the advantages of pipeline. What do you mean by accepting interactive human input? There are scenarios where when you run the job, your job should behave like this. It should perform continuous download, it should perform continuous build, it should perform continuous delivery, it should perform continuous testing and stop. It should not do delivery. It should stop for the approval from the delivery head. The client is having a delivery head. He don't want to make that particular code live today. He wants to make the particular code live day after tomorrow, after 2 days. He don't want to approve now. He wants to implement one functionality after 2 days, not now. So it will be waiting for the approval. So after 2 days, when the delivery head approve, then only stage 5 completes. This you cannot do it using freestyle. Waiting for the human input cannot be done in freestyle. It can be done using the pipeline. As I told you, example, before deployment of code into production, pipeline script can accept approval from the delivery head and then continue waiting for the delivery head. This can be done using pipeline. The pipeline script supports complex real-time scenarios which can implement something like conditional statement loops, basic programming features. You can do it. If you want some function to, if you want some activity to be done multiple times, you can use loops, conditions, if then else statements. As I told you, if the testing pass, then the job should go to delivery. The testing fails, we want to send an automated mails. We need to get some mails. But that email server should be configured. We can write an email. Testing has been failed. So this if then else conditions cannot be done by using freestyle. You have to depend on pipeline. These are advantages of the pipeline job. So that's the reason pipeline job is important. Any questions?
Which one will be using normally in office, like real time? Mostly pipeline or refresh? Okay, okay.
The project's pipeline is used. Frankly speaking, if you are comfortable with using pipeline jobs, you don't want to create freestyle job at all. You feel some pipeline is more better way of handling. Easy. Okay, we'll see down. And there are two types of pipeline code. Scripted pipeline is one code, declarative pipeline. One is enough. One is enough. So we'll go for scripted pipelines. The code you can write it in two syntaxes. One is scripted pipeline, the other one is declarative pipeline. So one is enough to understand. So we're going with scripted pipeline. This is how the code looks like. I'm just showing you how the code look like. Node, you should mention whether you want to run it in the master machine or slave machine. Stage, here you should write continuous download, and here you should write the code which will perform continuous download. Again, second stage you should write continuous build, and here you should write the code to perform continuous build. Like this, you should write the code, and when you run the code, so the job gets executed. To do this, if you want to use pipeline jobs, you need to install a plugin called as build pipeline plugin. To use pipeline jobs, we need a plugin called as build pipeline plugin. Okay, what's there in it? We'll install plugins. Install plugins, we already done it many times. Manage Jenkins. Manage plugins. Available. Which plugin we want? Not showing this. Build pipeline. This plugin is required. Let's wait for the plugin to get installed.
Sunil, we have done manually, right? CI/CD in freestyle. What if there is any some code change, or else if you want to
See that
deploy it, or
how can we figure it automatically? We'll see it later.
okay, okay, Sunil, thank you.
Sunil Bikash here.
Yes, because
Sunil, can a project has multiple pipeline based on the functionality?
that's called as a multi-branch pipeline.
Okay, but that's something possible, right?
Yes, it is possible. We'll discuss that in the next example.
Okay,
That's very important
thank
from
you.
the interview point of view.
And they should be
And
connected to different Git because to if they have
obviously,
the okay,
code picks from the code should be picked up from the Git, isn't it?
right, yeah,
Very important. Okay. So that example, you can project it in your interview also. We'll see that. First,
yeah,
let's complete this.
okay.
So when you want to
Thanks, Sunil.
create a pipeline jobs, first we need this plugin called as build pipeline. What's there in it? Go ahead and install the build pipeline plugin. Yes. I want to create a job. Name of the job. Name of the job can be anything, fine. I want to name it as scripted pipeline. It's a pipeline job, not a freestyle project. Select pipeline job. First observation, if it is freestyle job, you'll have a lot of triggers. Build, post, build actions, and all. So I think there are 7 tabs or 8 tabs. And here we have only 4 tabs. Okay, the pipeline job will have only 4 tabs. Okay. Go to pipeline tab. Here you should write the code. Here you should write the code to perform the CI/CD stages. Here you should write the code to perform the CI/CD stages. Okay. Syntax is already there in our notes. Like this, you should write the code. Okay. But you don't need to worry about this. As I told you, the tool, Jenkins tool, will help us in generating the code. How to generate the code? You can generate the code by using this pipeline syntax. Let's say if you're not comfortable with the syntax, you can go to pipeline syntax. A new tab is getting generated. So here, this is actual actual window where we should write the code. When I click on pipeline syntax, can you see a new tab got generated? Snippet generator. What do you mean by snippet? Snippet is nothing but predefined code. Snippet generator. The snippet generator will help you to learn the pipeline script code, which is it can be used for performing various stages. So this is a generator which will generate the code. So here, select the required options and the code gets generated here. When you click on generate the pipeline script, the code gets generated. For example, first you should define in which node you run the job. Do you remember every job needs to run it on a node? The default node is what? Master. Now, when you're writing a job, first you should clearly mention in which node you want to generate it. You want to run that. Do you want to run it in the master or do you want to run it in the slave? I want to run it in the master. First, you should pick up the node. So in the sample step, you have an option node, allocate node. And then here you should mention which node you want to run the job. I want to run the job on master node. Generate. Code is generated. Code is generated. And for our understanding clearly, I'm opening it a new notepad and copying the code. Did you write this code? Tell me, did I write this code? No, I have generated the code. If you look at the syntax, this is something similar to syntax. Node master, and then here you're writing some code. Okay, so code is generated. Next, what is the first stage you need to perform? Delete. Dinesh, what is the first stage?
It's a continuous download the code from GitHub.
Select the sample step as stage. What stage you want to perform? Continuous. Mention the stage name. Generate the script. Code for stage created. Code for stage created. This is the code, right? Any doubts in understand this code? Continuous download. So you have generated the code for stage. What stage? Continuous download? So the complete structure got created. The abstract. Now here you should perform code to perform continuous download. First I have allocated node. This part got generated. In that again I have created a stage. Mention the stage as continuous download. Continuous download can be possible by using what? Git, right? Select the stage as we have an option of Git. Mention the repository URL from which you want to perform a download activity. This is the repository URL. You already know it. Mention the repository URL. Generate script. This git command. The script is ready. This script. I'll copy it here. That's it. Done. So continuous download is nothing but downloading the source code from this GitHub repository. As the code is perfect now, copy the code. This is snippet generator, but the actual job is this one. Go to first tab. Done. Click on apply. Click on save. I have created a scripted pipeline job. Any questions in understanding this code? How did I generate the codes? In 3 parts. First part is node allocate node. Second part is stage. Third part is git. Simple, na? Did I write the code from the scratch? No. Please use the snippet generator to generate the code. Yes, Prashant.
Is the entire code aspect in this Jenkins, is it so simple?
Simple. Because Jenkins is not used by hardcore developers. Jenkins is designed from a non-developer point of view. So DevOps engineer need not be from a development team. He may not need not be from the development experience, from development background. Code is ready. Is it difficult, Prashant? Do you think writing the code is difficult
I
now
think
in Jenkins?
you
Not at all,
need to
right?
know, yeah, you need to know what you have done in earlier stage. Is
And
you need to
related to
implement
the job.
related to the pipeline blocks.
Yes. Okay, so code is copied here. Now the job is ready. Now I want to run the job. When you run the job, the code gets generated, code gets executed, performing continuous download happens. Say running the job for the first time. Click on refresh to get it whether it is successful or failure. Success. If you select the job also, this is how it shows. The user interface is changed. Observe here, you are not yesterday we are not getting these kind of blocks. Now you're getting blocks because this experience has been changed because of the new pipeline which you have installed. What's the new pipeline we have installed? Build pipeline, right? Because of this, the look and feel difference. It has taken 2 seconds of time to perform continuous download. How many times the job has been executed? First time. That is download successfully. You're getting green color because it is successful. Any questions? Performing the first stage using the code. Ashok, Bharat. Okay. To perform second stage, how to do it? What's there in it? You can also do this. Go to snippet generator. You should select it as stage and then mention the stage name, or what's there in it? This is the stage to perform continuous download, right? Copy. Paste. What is second stage? Continuous build. Here you write the code to perform continuous build. That's it. Am I right? Same, change them, and here you should write the code to perform continuous build. To perform continuous build, MVN package is the command which should run it. And how do you run this command? Using the shell script. So you need to select as shell script. It gets executed using write the command as MVN package. Generate. Now the command got executed. Command got generated. This where I should paste it. Done. Copy the full code. This is snippet generator. This is the actual tab. Configure pipeline. The code is performing how many stages to Prashant? Now the code is performing 2 stages, continuous download as well as continuous build. Here
So
also we have run.
what is that groovy sandbox that we see out over there?
Which one?
Just where he pasted the code, there is something called as groovy sandbox that is checked. No, not here.
First, let's run the job. Okay. Second time, second iteration. Second iteration, continuous download is done. Build is happening. It has taken 8 seconds. Code has been generated. Success. Second time also successful. Yeah. Artifact is ready. Where to see the artifact? Go to console output. Outputs are the same. Building the var file at you get the location. Web app.var. Yeah. This is the location. Building the var file. Okay. Second stage is done. Any questions, Rajshekar? Clear? Next. Third stage, continuous deployment. Okay. This is important. How to do continuous deployment using the code.
Sunil, why we are selecting SS script for Maven? I mean for continuous build. It's not.
You have to run that code using shell script. By default,
Which one?
that will be installed.
Oh,
Jenkins
no,
is.
no. I'm asking like for build why we are selecting option like for Git you have selected the option like Git. For build you have selected shell script, right? Is there any option to select like
any command? If you want to run it, you need to use shell script. Okay. Now
okay,
deployment also we use shell script also. Now I'll show you. Look at this.
Okay, Sunil, thanks.
Yeah. Dev server, QA server, production server. Fine. Now, step 1. This is GitHub repository where the source code is available. Source code is downloaded. The source code is converted into an artifact. Then the artifact needs to be deployed into the QA server. The artifact needs to be deployed. The artifact needs to be deployed to QA server. Okay. Now, if you want to deploy the artifact, I have mentioned this yesterday, I think so. Deployment. We need to establish passwordless SSH connection between the dev server and QA server. You have to establish passwordless connection between the dev server and QA server. Very, very important. Did we done it before? Did we establish anytime passwordless connections between two machines? You have done it yesterday in master slave configuration. Okay, so we have to do it. Connect to QA server, define the password for the Ubuntu user. SSHD config file password authentication by default will be no change it to yes. And come to dev server. Generate the keys, copy the keys to the QA server, isn't it? All these are important. So when you do this, what happens? Passwordless communication happens between dev and QA. So remember, when you perform CI/CD stages using the code, there should be passwordless connections between the Jenkins server to the machine on which you are deploying the source code. Okay, deploying the artifact. So connect to QoS server. So what's there? Connect to QoS server. Are you sure you want to connect? Just click on yes. Connected to QoS server. Define the password for Ubuntu user. Go to SSHD config file. In this directory, we have SSHD config file. Open the configuration file. Go to insert mode. By default, password authentication will be no. That's a process. Change to yes. Restart the SSH service. This we have done it yesterday. Now connect to dev server, generate the keys. Now connect to dev server and generate the keys. First we should generate the keys. So I open one more terminal. Clear. Should I generate the keys? Tell me. Shall I generate the keys? I don't need to generate the keys because keys are already generated. In this dev server, keys are already generated. When did I generate the keys? Yesterday, because I have copied the keys to a slave machine, right? So keys are already generated. You don't need to regenerate the keys. Just copy the keys. The keys which are generated to copy it to the slave machine, I can use the same keys to copy to QoS server. So now if you want to manually generate it, you have a command called SSH keygen. Then it will ask you, do you want to overwrite, because keys are already generated. So it has no, because you don't need to overwrite. So I don't need to generate the keys here because keys are already generated. Now you want to copy the keys to a QoS server. SSH copy ID. Ubuntu is a user present in the QoS server. So go to QoS server private IP. QoS server is a dev server is private IP address ending with 5676. And QoS server 183. This is the command. Are you sure you want to continue? What is the password for Ubuntu? Keys are already added now. Keys are added. Next, that means you have successfully established passwordless connection between dev to Q. If you want to test it, you can do it. This is the private IP address. Right now I'm in dev server. SSH Ubuntu at the right private IP address of the QA machine. I want to check whether I'm successfully connecting to QA server. This is QA server IP address using SSH. Yes, now I'm back. I'm connected to 183. Is it prompting for password? No. Exit, come back to dev server. So easily I'm switching from one machine to other machine. And is it prompting for password? It's not prompting for password. Yes, so we have established passwordless connections between the dev server and QA server. So it's a good revision for all participants who have not practiced. It's a good revision. We have done the same steps in the master slave configuration. Okay. Okay. Next, what you have to do? Tell me, Prashant. So I have established passwordless connection between the dev server and QA server. After this, what is the next step I should do?
You need, uh, you need to install Java on the QA server.
Next, after that,
And then you would have to deploy the code on the QA server.
code.
No, the artifact. Sorry.
Okay. Why should we install Java?
Because we don't have Jenkins installed on that particular server. We don't have Maven installed, and we don't even have Jenkins installed on the QA server. So we would
Which
need
server? Which server?
the QA server. It's a testing server.
Repeat again.
The QA server doesn't have Jenkins and Maven installed on it. So for that, we need to install Java on it from the first go.
What is installed in the QA server?
QA server.
Is it empty? Tomcat.
Right, yeah.
When you're performing freestyle project, when you're performing CI/CD stages in freestyle, Prashant, did we install Java and Jenkins here in the QA server?
No, we didn't install Jenkins. We just installed Java.
We have done configuration. We don't need to install Maven here, Prashant.
Oh, I understand.
Maven should be installed on the machine where you are building the artifact. Here, dev server, we have
Yes, sir.
installed Maven. Now you need to
Yes, sir.
deploy it.
I said dev has Maven and Jenkins is also on the dev server. On the QA server, we just need to install Java to actually run those.
Not required. Java is not required in QA. Now we need to deploy the artifact. We need to deploy the artifact present in the dev server to QA server. Okay, how to deploy it, and that we need to do it using code. How to do it? Look at this. To make the concept simplified. To make the concept simplified, look at this deployment concept. Stage 3 to make it simplified. So I have done. I'm doing a simple job. What simple task? Now you can copy the files from the QA server, dev server to QA server because we have established passwordless connection. The first point, what I'm doing here in the dev server, I'm creating a file called as file1, a simple file. This is dev server. I'm creating a file. Cat command is used to create a file. File gets created. Wantedly, I'm writing some contents inside the file. Control D to come out of the file. File got created. ls file got created. Where is the file created? Where is the file created? In the dev server. Okay. Now why I'm creating this file? I'll show you what is the importance of this. I want to copy this file into the QA server. This file which I have created the dev server, I want to copy it in the QA server. How can I do it? I'll show you how to create a simple, how to do copying files from one machine to other machine. SCP is a command name of the command. Secure copy is the name of the command. The syntax is source destination. What you want to do? You want to copy a file. SCP Source is nothing but what is the file name, destination, where you want to copy. I want to copy it into the which server? QS server. Ubuntu is a user present in the QS server at the rate private IP address of the QS server. And where I want to copy, in any location I want to copy it. I want to copy it in temporary directory of the virtual Linux machine. And when I'm copying, it should be file one, right? But it's not compulsory that you should maintain the same file name. If you want, you can change the file name also. I'm writing it as file 2. That means the content will be the same, but the file name will be different. Not file 1, it will be file 2. Using SCP, SCP is a command. SCP, secure copy, is a command which helps you to copy the files from one machine to other machine. I want to copy this file 1 from the current machine to this particular machine at this particular location, and when I'm copying, the file name should be F2. Okay, got it.
I
File
have
is
a
free.
query.
Copy.
Why did
File has,
we copy? Why did we copy it from the dev server to the QA server right now?
why are we doing this? Is your question, right? Why did you create file 1 and why are we copying
Yes.
this file 1 to dev
Yes.
server? I'll explain it. Let us check it whether it's copied successfully done. If you want to check, you can check it. Go to QA server. I want to check whether the file has been copied. Where it is copied into temporary directory, right? ls. Can you see file 2 is available? I want to see the contents inside the file. Cat. Are you able to see the same contents? File name has been changed. Exit to come back to dev server again. What I have done, I have created a simple file in the dev server and I have successfully copied the file into the QA server. And when I'm copying, I'm changing the file name from file 1 to file 2. I have a doubt. Sunil, why are you showing this? Why are you creating simple file and showing you how to copy a simple file? But actually, what we have to do is to perform continuous deployment. Continuous deployment is nothing but copying the file from dev server to QA server. What file? It's an artifact. Deployment is nothing but copying the artifact. That's to simplify this process. First, I've shown you how to copy one file to other file. Now look at this. Deployment is nothing but copying the artifact. Artifact is nothing but the var file. Where is the var file available? Obviously in the dev server to QA server. Get the location of the var file. Where is the location of the var file? Go to log messages. Hmm? This is the location of the artifact. This is the actual location of the var file. Okay. Now look at this. SCP source space destination Ubuntu present in the private IP address of the QA server. And then where you want to copy it in the Tomcat 8 directory, there'll be a folder called web apps. In that, you should mention the var file which you want to copy. What is the actual var file? webapp.var, but I'm renaming it to qaenv.var. I can change the file name, right? qaenv.var. So scp is a command which helps you to copy. The command is ready. Next, what you'll do, how do you run the command? We run the command using the shell script. Go to snippet generator, shell script, and mention the scp command, which is already prepared for you. Prepared here. Generate the script. Script is ready. Copy the script. Paste it in where?
So that means all Linux
1 minute.
commands can be.
1 minute. 1 minute. Continuous deployment. Script snippet generator. Okay. Paste. Okay. Copy this. The actual code is here. Continuous download, build, deploy. Apply. See. Yes, Prashant.
So just adding those sh label and script, we can run all the Linux command.
Any command you want to run it, you should use this shell script. That's the same thing Dinesh has asked, why are we doing this? Any command, this is also a command npm package. You're running it through shell script. Now run the job. When you run the job, till the running for the third time, continuous download happens. Continuous build happens. And then continuous deployment is failing. Where the logs. Permissions denied. Permissions denied. What is the reason? Look at this. Deployment fails. Observe the like message. We get a permissions denied. When you're copying into the Tomcat directory should have write permissions. Tomcat directory should have write permission because Jenkins is writing the data into that particular file. It should have a write permission. So we need to give the permissions to the Tomcat 8 directory. So change mode is a command which helps you to change the directory. For others, I'm writing the write permissions to the Tomcat 8 directory. So go to that QA server. This is the QA server, right? Go to library folder. ls, there's a folder called Tomcat 8. ls-l Tomcat 8. Write permissions is not available for the Tomcat 8 directory. Yes. As the permissions are now given, run the job. For the fourth time. Deployment. Success. How can you access the application? How can you access the application? Public IP of the QA server.
Run 8080.
8080 slash what is the context path? In case of freestyle project, you have mentioned the context path as QANV, but here what is the context path? Context part is nothing but the file name of the artifact. What is the artifact file name? QANV. This without dot var, whatever the file name, that becomes the context path. The application is now deployed. I have done it using the code, not as a freestyle project. Stage 4. Copy. Stage 4. Here you should write the code to perform continuous testing. As we know, we just write a print statement here. Go to snippet generator. We have it. Print generator. We want to run an echo command. So shell script echo testing fast.
It's a spelling mistake.
Fifth time the job is getting executed. One more job, one more stage gets added. Continuous testing success. Continuous delivery. For continuous delivery, what you need to do, as you know, whenever you continuous delivery, same as continuous deployment, only thing is the production instance changes. So you need to establish passwordless connection from the not QA to server, dev to production. I already have told you many times. In the interview, many people will say dev to QA, QA to prod. No. Dev to QA, if the artifact is successful, then dev to prod. Establish passwordless connection between dev to prod. I'll do it in no time. We need to establish passwordless connection. So connect. This is exit. This QA server. I want to connect to prod. Define the password for the Ubuntu user. So, what are your class timings, Prashant? In a different institute.
It starts by 8:30 in the evening.
Evening
8:30.
8:30. Today,
Sometimes, yeah, I think should be there. But today I also have a paper, so I might
okay.
not attend.
Okay, there is an option to go through the videos.
Yeah, he shares the video, but sometime it is delayed, so probably I'll go through.
Region.
Sunil,
One. Production. IP private address. Decide on it from the dev server. Is added. Test. From dev server, MSSH to QA production server, 244. Exit. Back to dev server as passwordless connection has been established. Next, we need to give the permissions to Tomcat 8. Sorry.
I think you came back to the dev server.
Now I am in dev server. 244 here. I should do it. Okay, I have established passwordless connection. Next, stage 5. Stage 5 same as stage 3. Copy the stage 3 code, paste it, rename it as continuous. Continuous delivery. What else do I need to change? Instead of here private IP address of the QA server, instead of that I will mention private IP address of the prod server. 244. I also want the not QA env. I write it as prod env. That's it. Done. Where is the job? Done. Access our application using public IP. Slash. Done. Got it? This is called as a groovy code. This is also called as Jenkins file. People say it as Jenkins file. People say it as groovy code. So code which is used for performing CSC stages is called as a groovy code. Okay, and if you save this in a file, that's called as Jenkins file. Clear? So I have copy pasted the file in the running notes. Clearly, for your clarity purpose. Practice is more important. Okay. Yes, you're saying something, Prashant.
No, sir.
Okay. Please practice this, all of you. Okay. Dinesh.
Sunil, I mean, like instead of this, we can go for freestyle, right? Why we are? I mean, it's taking more time, right, when compared to freestyle. I mean, like coding and all.
No. Pipeline is more powerful. Okay.
Okay.
You should be familiar with both.
Okay, fine. Okay, got it.
So it's up to you whether you do it or not, but you should be familiar.
Okay, Sunil.
In the end of the exercise, I'll ask you. Do you know it? What should be your answer? Yes, you should answer. Your answer should be yes, right?
Okay. And wow, in continuous testing, we have given only one statement like echo testing passed. Is that we are be doing in real time or else what? In how will?
What we'll do continuous testing as part of continuous testing. So we will download the source code. Huh?
Yes.
Run the source code. How do we download the source code? Like in stage 1. Like in stage 1, we'll download the source code. Immediately, our next command, next line, we'll write using shell script. We run that particular command to run it.
Okay, I mean, like shells for testing, shell script should be written by us, or else the testing team will be given.
Oh, are you writing shell script for ambient package? There's a particular command which helps you to trigger the particular testing code. Okay, it depends upon the testing tool what the testing team uses.
Sorry. No, Sunil, I'm like, I didn't got you what you're saying.
Continuous testing is all about downloading the testing scripts and running the testing scripts. Am I right?
Okay. Yes.
Where the testing scripts will be available?
In GitHub repository.
GitHub repository. You should download it. How to download it? Like this.
I mean,
like continuous download. Here we'll have the testing scripts repository that you will download it. After downloading, next what you'll run? You run a command, something like this, to run the script. The command will they will give it. Testing team will give it. You don't need to worry about it because it depends on the command depends on what is used. Okay.
Okay. So again, we need to repeat continuous download in 4th step, huh? Like for testing.
Yes, you're right. Because you have to download the source code.
Okay. So we'll run all the 5 stages at a time, or else one by one normally.
Did we do it? No, we have. I have shown you one by one for clarity purpose.
Okay.
If you're comfortable, write all it. I got to go and run it in a single shot.
So again, the continuous download we need to write here before testing.
Yes.
Okay, so and one more doubt, like why we are changing the SSD config in destination? I mean, like in QA and prod instead of dev. Any specific reason? Because dev is connecting to QA and prod, so we need to change in that. Huh?
What did I change?
That,
SSD config file.
Yeah.
That file where I have changed it in the QA server.
That's what I mean. Like any specific reason that we need to change in QA
that
and
is a
prod.
process. You need to SSHD config file. You need to change it whenever you want to establish a passwordless communication from dev to QA. The target machine SSHD config file should be.
Yeah. That's what I'm target. Okay.
Okay. So this is what I have planned for today's session. So please practice this. Tomorrow's session is again one more interesting concept called multi-branch pipeline. That's also very, very important. So see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye everybody.
Sure. Bye.